intermittent fasting, or the big notion is that intermittent fasting is just skipping meals.
Mm.
It isn't. Okay, it's eating in a restricted manner. It's eating in a timely window, but you still do need to be eating well, and you need to be meeting all of your requirements. Human body loves routine, which is why the moment we are giving like say consistent messages, or consistency is what our body likes, which is why you should be following a set routine. So whatever intermittent fasting, if at all you are going to take up or you're going to attempt, keep in mind the limitations of your everyday life, of your work life and everything, and do it accordingly. You can't be just changing it. One day I'll fast at night and the next day I'll fast at day. Can't be doing that. If you're looking at intermittent fasting as a stopgap to lose 5 kg and then get back to your old habits, please don't. You're not doing yourself any favors by doing this. You are actually going to be worse off, because the next time you try to do this cycle, you will find that are losing less weight and regaining more. Okay, you'll end up being stuck in a yo-yo dieting situation, and that's not a healthy place to be in.
3 people for whom intermittent fasting is a complete no-no.
People who have eating disorders or a history of eating disorders, people who have diabetes, and people who already have migraines.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Ask Amita podcast. So today we are talking about intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So we see it all over the place and would want to know more about it from you.
Okay.
In the first place, what is intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting is a type of time restricted eating. It's a tool. It could be used for managing your eating, it could be used to lose weight, it can be used to regulate, or to not stress eat. There are multiple reasons. But in essence, it is just limiting when you're going to be eating and when you're not going to be eating.
Okay. So there are all these windows that they talk about, and it's very confusing. There's something 16:8 and some ratios. So what are these ratios about?
So it's not a ratio actually.
Okay.
So when you say that it's 16:8 fasting, so it's 16:8 as IF or intermittent fasting. So you're going to be fasting or not eating anything. You can have water, don't worry.
Okay.
So you can have water, you can have 0-calorie beverages and everything as well in the 16 hours that you're fasting.
Okay.
And you have 8 hours to eat your food. So if you start eating, say if your first meal is at 10 o'clock, then you have to have your last meal by 6 p.m. So that's you having an 8-hour of eating window. And rest of the time, you're not going to be eating anything.
Okay.
So that's how it goes. And the most popular or easy form window of intermittent fasting is the 14-10.
Okay.
Because a lot of times people think that, say, if I say just you'll be eating only for 8 hours, then that becomes a little strict for them. Some people even reduce the eating window to even 4 hours, so they do a 24, that is 20 hours of fasting and just 4 hours of eating. So 14-10 is, if you want to start out with intermittent fasting, then 14-10 is what is recommended. But if you ask me, I'll say just a 12-hour time restriction, even if you just start with that, So what that means is that if I've woken up at 8 a.m. or if my breakfast was at 8 o'clock, then my dinner needs to happen before 8.
Right. Yes.
Okay? Which seems like very easy,
Yeah.
but still a lot of people struggle even with that, because they'll be like, I reach home from my workplace by 10 o'clock or I'm home by 9 o'clock. How can I do this kind of stuff? So you will start seeing an improvement in how you're feeling, or you will start seeing, say, lower incidence of you eating mindlessly or stress eating and emotional eating. Even if you start following just a 12-hour time restricted eating, it does not need to be anything more strict and stringent like, say, a 16-8 or 14-10 or even your 4-hour windows.
Okay. So are there any rules that you have to follow in the eating window, or how's that?
So see, people just look at it as, okay, so I'm going to fast for 20 hours and in the 4 hours that I can eat, I'll eat whatever comes to my mind. And that actually is how the intermittent fasting became popular, because people started seeing that, oh, here's a diet where I'm eating, say, whatever are my favorite ultra processed foods, and say quick service or junk pizzas, or even say ice creams and whatnot. Okay, so in this 4 hours I'll eat whatever I want to, and still they found that they were losing weight because the rest of the time they were not eating anything. That is actually how intermittent fasting became popular, or that is the common notion of people, that all that I need to do is just be intermittent fasting. So by the end, the feasting time or the eating time, people actually made it into a feasting time. So that is when I can eat whatever and I will still see results. Now that's going to hold true for, say, only the first 2 or 3 kgs. If you're someone who's very overweight or who has been eating a whole lot all of this while day and night, then even if you are eating, say, in the 8 hours you're eating whatever takes your fancy, very high calorie food, still is going to turn into you dropping your weight, because you will be reducing the total calories that you are taking in. So essentially, even with that, it becomes nothing more than just a calorie deficit. But you cannot continue doing this for a really long time, because it becomes unsustainable. And with that, what you will also find is that your weight dropped, but your biochemical markers like your cholesterol and your triglycerides or even your sugars, they went off the charts. So that is not a healthy way of going about intermittent fasting. It is the more popular or the more something that draws people towards IF, but that's not how IF is to be done. A good way of going about IF or intermittent fasting is going to be starting with a 12-hour window. Then if you want, for whatever reasons, you can reduce the eating window further, but you need to be eating healthy even in those, like say, in the time restricted manner, because end of the day, it's not just about your body weight, it's also about what is happening with the other biochemical parameters in your body.
Right, so it should be a eating window rather than a feasting
window. True.
Okay, so what are the right reasons to start with the intermittent fasting in the first place?
So some reasons could be as simple as, I don't have time to eat in the morning. Okay, so there are people whose mornings are super busy, or they are like very busy with childcare, or they just have to get up and rush, otherwise they are going to be stuck in traffic forever, kind of situations. So in that scenario, you could, say, start eating later, and it becomes like a default intermittent fasting of sorts, wherein you start, your first meal happens at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, like that. Other than that, another reason could be that where you are finding it very difficult to stop snacking. Okay, so a lot of times people struggle with mindful eating, or they struggle with portion control. So if you are one of those who is not able to limit, put any kind of limits on what you are eating, then starting with limiting the time is a good first place, so you can start with that. So that way, at least you've given yourself a rule that even if I'm watching Netflix through the night, I'm not going to be constantly stuffing my face with food, because end of the day, it's all like, extra calories. So 12-hour time restricted eating, or 12-12 as an intermittent fasting, also works for people who just want to start or try dropping some body fat on their own, or want to just begin with trying to eat healthier. And it's a good way of not eating the extra calories, or of starting a calorie deficit simply because now you put, like, say, a time constraint on yourself.
Correct. So essentially, like, to build a discipline of eating, you are like, because there's time involved and directions involved.
Yes.
But also in here, like, since there's like a limited time, so and if you're having like say less meats, so there is a risk of say eating less protein or that. So we have to plan the meals properly.
100%, 100%, because that is a big risk, and which is why people who are not doing intermittent fasting in a planned and educated manner, they find that yes, they drop body weight, but they also lost hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a good place to be in. Like, you're leaner and you're also bald. Not a good look, for most people. So it's important to understand and to know what you're going to be eating. And if you are again doing a 16-8, because that is the form where you are either not going to have breakfast or you're not going to have dinner. Okay, the usual dinner timings. Of course, you can always eat your dinner at 6 p.m. And that is what you should be doing, So even within the time that you have, you should be planning and making up for, say, the time that you have not eaten. So, big mistake with intermittent fasting, or the big notion, is that intermittent fasting is just skipping meals. It isn't. Okay, it's eating in a restricted manner. It's eating in a timely window, but you still do need to be eating well, and you need to be meeting all of your requirements. Another mistake, like when I'm talking of skipping meals, is that a lot of times people think that, so today if their 8-hour window started at 10, tomorrow it can start at 8 o'clock, the next day it can start at 7 a.m. And then one day I'm going to be eating till 6 p.m., next day I'll eat till 4 p.m. and after that I'll eat at
changes according to their convenience.
Yeah, according to their convenience. If you keep doing that, that's not going to work very well for you, because our body, if there's one thing which loves routine in this world, it is a human body. Okay,
right.
So human body loves routine, which is why the moment we are giving like say consistent messages, or consistency is what our body likes, which is why you should be following a set routine. So whatever intermittent fasting, if at all you are going to take up or you're going to attempt, keep in mind the limitations of your everyday life, of your work life and everything, and do it accordingly. You can't be just changing it. One day I'll fast at night and the next day I'll fast at day. Can't be doing that.
Okay. And also, like, since you're fasting for so long, is there an added risk involved of, say, acidity or?
Yes. So people who get migraines, people who have reflux, people who have gastroesophageal reflux disease, that is GERD. Folks who tend to have like hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. Intermittent fasting is not for any of these people, because you need to be very careful in terms of the blood sugars, and migraine by itself is such a crippling scenario where your world shuts down if you're getting a migraine. So, and one of the big triggers of migraines is hunger. So long periods of where you have not eaten enough food. Same with acidity, like say long gaps between meals is something that can trigger acidity. So not recommended for them.
So for them, can they do it in the normal style as you suggested, 12? So that's...
Yeah, so it's actually sad that we have to call a 12-hour eating pattern as a time restricted eating, because our body is not designed to be constantly dealing with an onslaught of food. Okay, so our body or our gut also needs some downtime to be able to manage our health and to be able to manage the digestion. So 12-hour eating is how you should be eating.
Yes, okay. So you also mentioned that you can have some 0-calorie beverages in the fasting period. So what can one have commonly there?
If it's in the morning, you can have, say, black coffee, or you can have any English tea or green tea or chamomile tea at night and stuff. So anything 0 calorie, no added sugar. There are some people who will also add some sweeteners, 0 calorie sweeteners to it. That's also okay. In my practice, I found that if you end up having something sweet at night, like a sweetener, it tends to keep you more awake. So that's the other concern. I wouldn't recommend having coffee at night, because then that's also going to impact your sleep pattern. So yeah, and what other 0-calorie option they could have? So you have a lot of these Now you have artificially sweetened or even sweeter, you sweetened using monk fruit sugar, which is a natural sweetener, stevia. So you get these beverages like lemonades and tonic waters and stuff. Those can also be had.
I can get. Okay. So now, if like say I have done the intermittent fasting for say 2-3 months, have lost a couple of weight, then I move back to my normal routine. Is there a risk of gaining the weight back?
Always, always. Because when you work on any weight loss, you have to plan the maintenance of it. Okay. And that is where most weight loss programs or most weight loss diets per se fail, because they are not planning how they are going to maintain the weight that they have lost. So if you're looking at intermittent fasting as a stopgap to lose 5 kg and then get back to your old habits, please don't. You're not doing yourself any favors by doing this. You are actually going to be worse off, because the next time you try to do this cycle, you will find that you are losing less weight and regaining more. Okay, you'll end up being stuck in a yo-yo dieting situation, and that's not a healthy place to be in.
Okay. And how is it about the exercise? So, shall the exercise be in the fasting period or it should be during your eating window?
That depends on you, how you feel. There are some people who start feeling weak in the morning after, say, a long fasting period. There are others who actually feel more energetic during the fasting period. So it completely depends on how you're feeling.
So one more question is, shall the people with diabetes do intermittent fasting?
It's also very often recommended, that you, to get reverse diabetes or get free from diabetes, start fasting. Now, with diabetes, one big risk is that of hypoglycemia. If you are, say, doing any kind of unmonitored fasting and you're also continuing with your medications, then you are very quickly likely to go towards hypoglycemia or faint and everything. So for anyone with diabetes, I don't recommend any intermittent fasting or fasting at all. It's better to be maintaining your blood sugar levels through the day by eating food than not eating anything for 24 hours.
Right. So it's a bad idea for even people with pre-diabetes. They often switch to intermittent fasting thinking it will help them.
Yes.
But it's worsening it.
Yes. So just a standard time-restricted, 12-hour time-restricted eating will also do the job.
Now coming to the rapid-fire questions. So do you recommend intermittent fasting to your clients?
Some I do, not everyone.
One thing you wish everyone knew before starting intermittent fasting?
That you can get massive headaches with intermittent fasting.
One common mistakes people make while doing intermittent fasting?
One common mistake is that they start off intermittent fasting without really planning what they are going to eat and how they are going to manage the eating in the eating window. Because then what happens is, so you started on 16/8, right? And then on what about days when you are coming back home after 8 o'clock? So then you end up missing the time or when you could have eaten. So either you are going to break the fasting or you are going to starve yourself and then start your day worse off, So not planning is a big mistake.
Most overrated claim of intermittent fasting?
Autophagy and anti-aging. Doesn't really.
Okay, this is another one. Does intermittent fasting cause hormones fluctuation?
No.
Okay.
But yes, what can happen is if you're fasting too much, okay? So a lot of times women usually do this because most women start off on intermittent fasting to lose weight, okay? They find that first they lost like say 5 kgs and then the weighing scale got stuck. So then they reduce the eating window further and then eventually it comes to just one meal a day. Now when you're eating so less, okay, with such less amounts of food, you will find that then that gets you to say getting an irregular period because the fat intake has significantly dropped, you just dropped too much weight and your energy is going to be down and such. So that is where it can impact, not if you're eating well.
Okay. 3 people for whom intermittent fasting is a complete no-no.
People who have eating disorders or a history of eating disorders, people who have diabetes, and people who already have migraines.
So these were our thoughts on intermittent fasting. If you have anything more to share, please drop it in the comment box below.
And of course, you don't want to miss out on sharing this episode with everyone. Let us know how was your intermittent fasting experience. I'm sure you all have also tried some forms of intermittent fasting. Let me know if at all you faced any problems, and also subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, so that we can keep bringing more such useful content for you.